and welcome. Tonight, troops of 6th Division of the Nigerian Army recover 1.2 million liters of stolen petroleum products, destroy over 56 illegal oil bunkering sanctuaries in the Niger Delta. Former Vice President Atiku calls on the National Assembly to revisit and make public the resolutions of the National Economic Council on the tax reform bill. President Bola Tinubu departs France for South Africa on Monday to co-chair the 11th session of the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission alongside President Cyril Ramaphosa. And Syrian rebels sweep into Aleppo as Russia conducts a strike in support of President Bashar al-Assad. We begin tonight with fresh efforts by the military to clamp down on activities of illegal bunkering in the Niger Delta region. Troops of 6th Division Nigerian Army today announced the recovery of 1.2 million liters of stolen crude oil and deactivated some illegal bunkering sites. This is contained in a statement signed by the Acting Deputy Director of 6th Division Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Danjuma Jonah. The statement had disclosed that the operations, which were conducted from November the 25th to December the 1st, 2024, resulted in the deactivation of 56 illegal oil bunkering sanctuaries, the arrest of 17 suspects, the discovery of 6 illegal pipeline connections, and the dismantling of several facilities used for economic sabotage. The statement further says the River State troops discovered an illegal connection on a 36-inch government pipeline and seized 100 liters of stolen product from a ground reservoir, while in Bayelsa State, troops dismantled 15 illegal refining sites in a corridor forest in Yenagwa local government area, recovering over 755,000 liters of stolen crude and 53,000 liters of illegally refined automotive gas oil. In Delta State, the troops recovered over 40,000 liters of stolen crude and arrested one suspect who led them to a bunkering site. And staying in the Niger Delta region, the movement for the survival of Ogoni people, MOSOP, an advocacy group championing the development of Ogoni land, is now asking for the establishment of Ogoni Development Authority to help drive socio-economic growth and infrastructural development in the area. The demand was made by MOSOP group led by Fegalo Nsuke at the Ogoni National Congress held at the MOSOP Secretariat in Bori, which is the traditional headquarters of the Ogoni people. The proposal is coming in response to the plans to resume oil exploration in the area.
Men and women united by a shared commitment to the ideals of environmental rights activist and former president of MOSOP, Ken Saro-Wiwa, convened for the Ogoni National Congress. Ogoni, comprising 4 local government areas of Kana, Kokana, Tai, and Eleme, is endowed with rich oil deposits. However, the people have always argued that this natural wealth has failed to translate into tangible socio-economic development in their communities.
I keep saying that if Nigeria will not come to table with the Ogoni leaders, MOSOP, led by President to negotiate this path of peace, Nigeria will regret tomorrow.
Beyond the alleged negligence by the government, another factor hindering the objectives of the organization is internal division, which this group led by Fegalo Nsuke says it wants to mend.
You must enter in your chapter, otherwise what we call, politically we call in a word. Word is MOSOP, is in chapter. If you're a MOSOP person, you know this. And I put it to you that not every Ogoni person is a MOSOP person. If you're a MOSOP true person, you must enter in your chapter, from your chapter to kingdom, and you grow and grow and grow.
Another key concern raised during the interactive session includes the contention surrounding the planned resumption of oil exploration, a process halted in protest after the execution of Ken Saro-Wiwa 29 years ago. Part of the resolutions reached here is the demand for the establishment of Ogoni Development Authority to be funded by 20% of the revenue to be generated from oil activities in their land.
Congress resolved that the leadership of MOSOP led by Fegalo Nsuke should negotiate the 20% Ogoni interest in natural resource extraction in Ogoni and ensure that this interest of Ogoni is won and brought home. Congress demanded compensation for livelihood losses due to decades of oil pollution in Ogoni. Congress resolved to set up a resolution committee to bring everybody together. Congress resolved that the leadership of MOSOP should set up a conflict resolution committee to address inter- and intra-community conflicts within Ogoni.
The Ogoni struggle has spanned 34 years, and MOSOP members led by Fegalo Nsuke remain hopeful, but their demands will finally receive the attention and action they deserve from the Bola Tinubu-led administration.
The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Yemi Cardoso, has been explaining how some of the reforms of the Apex Bank align with efforts to establish a stronger and more resilient African financial architecture. Mr. Cardoso believes that reforms like the transition to the unified exchange rate framework, the removal of fuel subsidies, and the recapitalization of deposit money banks have all contributed to strengthening the economy of the African continent. He was speaking at the 5th African Union Extraordinary Session of the Specialized Technical Committee on Finance, Monetary Affairs and Economic Integration in Abuja. African finance ministers and heads of central banks across the continent have converged for the 5th African Union Extraordinary Session of the Specialized Technical Committee on Finance, Monetary Affairs and Economic Integration. The meeting is convened under the theme, Building a Stronger and Resilient Africa Financial Architecture. One issue that came to focus during the meeting is Africa's debt profile. According to the Africa Development Bank, Africa's public debt has surged by 170% since 2010, exacerbated by several economic issues. Figures from the bank state that this year alone, Africa is expected to spend $74 billion on debt refinancing, with annual cost projected at $10 billion from 2025 onwards. The bank adds that Africa pays 500% more in interest costs when borrowing from international capital markets compared to borrowing from multilateral development banks like the AFDB. The figure reveals the paradox of the debt and development financing on the continent, and Nigeria's finance minister, who is represented by the director in charge of special projects at the Federal Ministry of Finance, calls for collective action to tackle the issue.
Status of implementation of sustainable financing of the African Union underscores the importance of Africa working collectively in a more coordinated manner in shaping up our economies in such a way that we will not be dependent on aid from international partners. It emphasizes that only through collective endeavors can we navigate through the challenging times that face us.
The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria echoes this sentiment, emphasizing the impact of Nigeria's fiscal and economic reforms.
The removal of fuel subsidies has created fiscal space for strategic investments, while targeted policies to enhance diaspora remittances have contributed to an improved external reserve position.
Over the next couple of days, the delegates are expected to deliberate on these pressing issues, and the resolutions adopted at the session are expected to set a transformative agenda for Africa's economic future. The former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, is asking the National Assembly to revisit and make public the resolutions of the National Economic Council on the tax reform bills. In a post on his X handle, the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2023 election said that the National Assembly must be guided appropriately to ensure that in final analysis, the contents of the bills align with the interests of more Nigerians. Alhaji Abubakar, who says that he has followed the intense public discourse on the tax reform bills with keen interest, and notes that Nigerians are united in their call for a fiscal system that promotes justice, fairness, and equity. According to him, Nigerians are loud and clear that the fiscal system it seeks to promote must not exacerbate the uneven development of the federating units by enhancing the status of few states while unduly penalizing others. The bills, which have generated controversy since it was sent to the National Assembly by President Bola Tinubu, passed second reading at the Senate last week. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has asked President Bola Tinubu to direct the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, and the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Medin, to discuss and disclose the specific names of companies and contractors who collected over 167 billion naira from 31 ministries, departments and agencies but failed to execute any project. SERAP is also seeking for the details of the projects for which the contractors collected the amount and proposed locations, as well as the number of contractors involved and the amount collected by each contractor. SERAP is now the Deputy Director, Kolawole Oluwadari, speaking to Channels Television earlier, explains why the organization is making this request.
There is no statute of limitation for either investigation or even any for criminal actions. Investigation or prosecution, the law is clear in that regard. And that is why the process of audit, including the report of the Auditor General, is important. It is part of that process in the accountability cycle to ensure that we know how public funds are spent. The Auditor General of the Federation is appointed by the President, and he has released a report pursuant to the work that he has done, showing, among other things, that these MDAs cannot account for these 167 billion. Nothing stops the president from giving this directive. Nothing stops the anti-corruption agencies from investigating this claim and ensuring that those who are found culpable, of course, face the full wrath of the law, want to ensure that these funds are recovered. And much more importantly, as a step, as the first step, to ensure that the names of these contractors who collected these funds, who should have implemented these projects are mentioned, and also people who should have benefited from this project show up. This is the reason why we do not have light water, depending on the nature of these projects. It's just right, and the law doesn't forbid it in any way. I see no reason why the president cannot do this. It is in line with his constitutional duties. It is in line with his position as a public officer. It is in line with the public campaign. So I see no reason why he can't do this. It is very simple, really.
One day after former head of State General Yakubu Gowon revealed his role during the incarceration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo under the Abacha regime, the former president has now expressed his gratitude to the former head of state. Speaking at the inaugural Plateau Interdenominational Unity Christmas Carols and Praise Festival at the Ten Commandments Prayer Altar in Jos, Plateau State over the weekend, Mr. Gowon disclosed that he had written to Abacha urging him to show clemency to Mr. Obasanjo. The following day, at the same Christmas Carol event, Mr. Obasanjo acknowledged Mr. Gowon's efforts, stating that he was unaware of the intervention until it was disclosed.
He gave us here a revelation. And I have to thank you especially for that. Because when I came out of prison, I had opportunity from what I had, both when I was in prison and when I came out, of friends inside and outside who contributed to appeal to prayer for my release from prison. And I went around the world thanking those that have been pointed out to me as appealing and praying for my release from prison. I did not know that you wrote a personal letter for my release until you said it yesterday. I thank you for that.
In part two, after the break, Madonna University holds its 22nd convocation ceremony featuring series of events and celebration of achievers. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, reaching you live from Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. Troops of 6th Division of the Nigerian Army recover 1.2 million liters of stolen petroleum products, destroy over 56 illegal oil bunkering sanctuaries in the Niger Delta. Former Vice President Atiku calls on the National Assembly to revisit and make public the resolutions of the National Economic Council on the tax reform bill. President Bola Tinubu departs France for South Africa on Monday to co-chair the 11th session of the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission alongside President Cyril Ramaphosa. And Syrian rebels sweep into Aleppo as Russia conducts strikes to support President Bashar al-Assad. President Bola Tinubu will be leaving France tomorrow, Monday, for Cape Town, South Africa, to co-chair the 11th session of the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission alongside President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. According to a statement issued by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the event, scheduled for December the 3rd, will be preceded by a ministerial meeting on December the 2nd at the South African Parliament building in Cape Town. President Bola Tinubu and President Ramaphosa will engage in substantive talks on a wide range of issues of mutual interest, including bilateral, regional, and international matters. At the high-level meetings, officials of both countries will sign level memorandum and several memoranda of understanding and agreements. President Tinubu is to be accompanied by the high-level delegation comprising state governors, ministers, and senior government officials, and he is scheduled to return to Nigeria after the BNC meeting. Over 2,000 students have been awarded degrees at Madonna University's 22nd graduation ceremony, 29 of them coming out with outstanding first-class honors. The event, which took place at the institution's grounds and the arena in NDLEA campus in River State, was marked by a colorful celebration, awards and recognition for academic excellence. Our correspondent Deborah Agbalama reports.
The activities marking the 22nd convocation of Madonna University featured a series of events, including a convocation lecture on Thursday. The lecture, themed Evolution of Medical Education in Nigeria, is delivered by Dr. Danjuma Sanusi, a former registrar of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, and concludes with the conferment of an honorarium award to the speaker. Then, on Friday, the D-Day, the entire environment is engulfed with the colorfulness of convocation gowns as graduates from 11 faculties and postgraduate studies prepare for the moment of reward for their years of hard work. The university, following in its tradition, begins the convocation ceremony with a Thanksgiving Mass.
The joy there is that Madonna will shape your life and inculcates you that moral dignity.
After the Mass, the Chancellor and founder of the institution, Reverend Father Emmanuel Ede, declares the convocation open.
It's not easy to be under Chancellor scholarship and be serious with their study. Because I noticed that when some people are giving Chancellor scholarship, they take it easy. They now face their studies. So they not do very well.
The conferment of various degrees to graduates is next as they receive their rewards for years of academic commitment with sounds of jubilation. Then the big one, Ms. Onyebuchi Ogechukwu, a beneficiary of the Founders Scholarship, is crowned the best graduating student with a stellar CGPA. She is smiling home with 100,000 naira, a job offer as a graduate assistant lecturer, and the scholarship covering both master's and doctorate programs accorded by the institution. She speaks on the journey so far.
From the very first day I entered Madonna, I knew what I wanted and I tried my best to work towards it. And I had a lot of people to encourage me. I had my uncle, my parents, priests in school. I had a lot of things to encourage me. And I knew what I wanted and I had zeal. So I worked and I struggled by the grace of God. I'm here today.
With the 22nd convocation of Madonna University concluded, the graduates now step into the next phase of their lives, hopefully equipped with the knowledge and skills to make meaningful contributions to society. Deborah Abalama, Channels Television News.
In Edo State, the governor, Monday Okpeholo, has pledged to remain focused on the delivery of good governance to the people of the state. Mr. Okpeholo, who maintains that Edo people chose the path of unity and development in voting him in office, decried claims of rigging in the September 21 governorship election. He was speaking at a reception held in his honor by the Edo Central APC in Irua. Our correspondent, Jessica Oluboshere, reports.
Honorable Lady Betty.
An Ace and cultural dance group entertains an array of dignitaries, including top government officials, serving and past lawmakers, members of the political class and traditional rulers, as they assemble on the Ace and Central Local Government Area Secretariat Council grounds in Irua for a reception in honor of Governor Monday Okpeholo.
We are happy to celebrate the victory.
Chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State takes time out to thank the people of the senatorial district as well as the state for their support.
We want to use this opportunity to thank everybody, Edo State, for giving us this mandate. And we can all see, even the blind can see now, that the governor has hit the ground running.
Traditional ruler Vurumi is of the belief the governor will perform well in office.
We are grateful to His Majesty, the Oba of Benin. We are grateful to the traditional rulers from Edo North for all their support. And we pray and believe strongly that the governor will deliver the dividend of democracy to the people of Edo State.
The event's organizers share the same belief.
It's the very first time for a very long time that a governor from Esan extraction has emerged. We are grateful to God, and that's why we are throwing this party. We are grateful to the people of Edo South. We are grateful to the people of Edo North for supporting us and giving us this opportunity to have a shot at the governance of this state.
My people.
Governor Okpeholo, in his address, maintains he will disregard distractions and remain focused on delivering good governance to the people.
People that wrote results, and we are announcing fake results on the internet, and the same people crying today to say somebody has been election. Edo has spoken, choosing the right path of development, path of peace, path of unity, and that is what they have chosen, and that is how it passed today.
The Edo State governor says he's grateful for the support received from the traditional rulers, people of Eastern Land, and the entire Edo State. He pledged not to let them down. Jessica Olubosere, Channels Television News.
Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, says that his administration will continue to embark on infrastructural projects that will make life more meaningful for the people, as well as to boost economic fortunes of Imo State. Governor Uzodinma disclosed this during the two-day inspection tour of ongoing projects across the state to assess the progress made. He says the tour underscores his administration's commitment to improving the state's infrastructure and addressing this deficit. Our correspondent, Aitop Akutei, reports.
It's been a busy period for Governor Hope Uzodinma as he crisscrosses the length and breadth of the state, inspecting a series of ongoing projects aimed at addressing infrastructural deficits and improving the quality of life for residents. On day one of inspection tour, the governor begins at the Emmanuel Iwayan Convention Center in Owerri, a project designed to transform the state into a hub for national and international events. He then moves to the Control Maria Sumter Avenue flyover, a strategic infrastructure aimed at decongesting traffic in the state capital. Next is the ongoing rehabilitation of the Olu Eziachi Road, a critical link road connecting many communities. The governor also visits the new Government House Annex. He expresses satisfaction with the progress made on projects visited and the impact is expected to have on citizens.
All we have seen is all the facility and international conference center. 80% complete. We saw the flyover at Assumpta Cathedral roundabout, almost 70% complete. You've come to Olu, you've seen the road, the Banana Junction to Eziashi, and the government house are next. In our quest to decentralize government, we have taken it upon us to build a government house next in Olu and another one in Okibu. This will make workers be able to live anywhere and go to work from anywhere.
Before wrapping up the inspection on day one, the government inspects a 200-bed medical facility at the Imo State Teaching Hospital, a joint project between the Imo State government, SERAP Petroleum, and NNPC.
The main building is of two blocks, Block A and Block B. We have the service buildings where we have the panel room, the water tank. We have underground water tank here, which is supposed to take care of the water for drinking. We have the panel room, we have the generator house, we have the transformer, security room, and the office.
On day two of the inspection, the government turns its attention to the Umuchima erosion site, a long-standing ecological challenge threatening the livelihoods and safety of residents of Riato South and North. The government gives assurance of its government's determination to control the erosion and prevent further damage.
The level of devastation is so alarming that ordinarily one will assume that it's above the strength of a state government. But we have borrowed courage somehow to see how we can rescue our people from this malady. So in order to ensure that our people that live on this road will once more begin to have access. It is so painful that one will have to transverse so many kilometers outside the state to get to their place because this place has been cut off for some time now.
With the assurance that these projects will be completed in record time, residents are hopeful that these developments will translate to improved infrastructure and well-being of the people. Ejitopakute, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Security Services Departments of the Federal Capital Territory raid hotspots in the city to make Abuja safe ahead of the festive season. Please stay with us. Welcome back. The governor of Kaduna State, Mr. Obasanjo, has commissioned a secondary general hospital in Lere, local government area of the state, and this is part of his administration's effort to enable the poor and vulnerable in rural communities access quality and affordable health care. Speaking at the inauguration, Governor Sani says that his administration is carrying out surgical operation in the healthcare sector with the aim of addressing the healthcare needs of citizens through revitalizing primary, secondary, and tertiary healthcare facilities across the 23 local government areas of Kaduna State.
Since its inception more than 50 years ago, the Dabo Lere Memorial Hospital, located at the Saminaka area of Lere local government area of Kaduna State, has served the people of the area. However, the health facility has suffered long years of neglect, despite its importance to the health needs of the people. The rehabilitation and upgrade of the facility as a secondary healthcare facility is cheering news for the people. It's now equipped with state-of-the-art medical facilities by the administration of Governor Obasanjo. The governor is here to commission the hospital, and the Commissioner of Health highlights the importance.
These projects are at various stages of completion, and it reflects clearly our governor's steadfast his dedication to improving the healthcare infrastructure across the state.
The chairman of Lere local government and other stakeholders believe the rehabilitation and equipping of the hospital is a prayer answered.
Local community, also its vital service to neighboring states, including Bauchi, Plateau, Nasarawa, and Kano. Your decision to prioritize this hospital is testament to our dedication to health, accessibility, and excellence in our region.
The speed and efficiency with which
which this hospital was transformed is truly commendable and reflects the seriousness with which you have pursued the vision of a modern and effective healthcare system in Kaduna State.
The government describes the project as proof of its commitment to ensure access and quality healthcare service in Kaduna.
We are carrying out a surgical operation in the healthcare sector. We want to deliver to our people a healthcare system that addresses the needs of the citizen in the 3 levels of healthcare delivery. Our vision is to build healthy communities where the poor and vulnerable have access to quality healthcare.
The state government says the 12 other general hospitals across Kaduna State are undergoing extensive reconstruction and will soon be completed.
From there, we move to the environment as we head to Yobe State, where Governor Mai Malabuni has disbursed a sum of 2 billion naira, 2,936 million naira to 25,500 flood victims and vulnerable persons in the state that suffered displacement. The governor, who handed over the checks to the beneficiaries at the Government House Banquet Hall, Damaturu, also supported 15,000 small business owners and new entrepreneurs with the support of 100,000 naira each to boost their businesses. Seated in this hall are government officials, traditional rulers, politicians, and beneficiaries of the Governor Mai Malabuni's grassroots recovery and empowerment program. Government officials say over 40,000 individuals cut across 10 empowerment centers have benefited from the empowerment program.
In 2022, the agency have supported 1,700 beneficiaries that is 100 beneficiaries from each local government across the state. In collaboration with SMEDA, 900 business holders have collected loans from various financial institutions to revive their businesses.
Under the Renewed Hope initiative, a lot of programs have been conducted and been achieved. The first program is the Elderly Support Scheme Phase 1. Second program, support for women in agriculture. The next one is distribution of food items to less privileged.
With 34 lives lost to flood and 441 communities affected, the government of Yobe State is out to empower the victims with 2.9 billion naira.
In recognition of the vital roles of nano and small businesses in driving grassroots economic growth, we are disbursing 1.5 billion to support 15,000 small business owners and entrepreneurs to foster financial inclusion and stimulate local economies. Each beneficiary will receive 100,000 to grow their businesses and sustain their livelihoods. This brings us to a total of 2.9 billion naira support to the beneficiaries.
Although the initiative reflects the guiding principles of Governor Buni's administration to protect the vulnerable, empower the citizens, and create pathways for self-reliance and prosperity, assisting vulnerable groups and small business owners to address immediate recovery needs for long-term economic resilience remains a key priority of the state government. The Security Services Department of the Federal Capital Territory Administration has commenced special operations to make Abuja safe throughout the festive season. The Federal Capital Territory Administration Task Force on City Sanitization raided suspected one-chance spots in the nation's capital and impounded some vehicles. Addressing journalists after that operation, the Secretary of the AFCT Command and Control Center, Mr. Peter Olumuje, explains that the aim of this initiative is to keep Abuja safe during and after the festive season.
The Commissioner of Police brought out a press release on that, and the police have started a special operation to ensuring that they're able to get rid of all those one-chance operators. And a lot of success stories have been achieved. Even though these stories are not out there at the public, but the Command and Control Center also have come out to ensure to complement that particular effort. We've had victims victims that have been rescued by the Nigerian police. We've had suspects that have been apprehended. We've had suspected vehicles used for one chance operators that have been impounded by the Directorate of Road Traffic Services. And all this is a way of securing the FCT. And like we all know, we are approaching the festive period, which we know that this criminal element will try to play a fast one in getting more financial benefits. But with this sustained operation that we have started since on Monday, that the Honorable Minister FCT have sanctioned that it should continue for every motoring, every commuters in the FCT to be able to to go from one point to the other safe without any form of harassment. And that is why we have carried out this patrol and enforcement on the activities of suspected vehicles used for one chance and arresting them too.
The police operatives attached to the Borno State Command have repelled a group of armed and dreaded terrorists on November the 28th this year. A statement signed by the Force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi says the group of unknown armed individuals attacked the Jakana Divisional Police Headquarters in Borno State at about 1 a.m. but met strong resistance from gallant operatives of the Nigeria Police Force, who successfully repelled the attack and left many of the attackers with varying degrees of bullet wounds, while one officer was injured and is currently responding to treatment. The statement further reads that in a bid to curtail the activities of the kidnappers, police operatives attached to the Delta State Command on November the 28th, acting on report of attempted kidnapping at Asaba, swung into action, giving hot chase to the suspected kidnappers, intercepted and engaged the suspects in the gun duel, overpowering them and forcing them to flee into a nearby bush with sustained bullet wounds. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says that it has arrested a Brazil-based businessman, Ezeokoli Silva, with 700 grams of cocaine in his stomach at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. A statement issued by the Director, Media and Advocacy, NDLEA Headquarters, Abuja, Femi Babafemi, says the discovery was made by operatives at the airport, where the suspect, who had lived in Brazil for 35 years, returned home to Nigeria. According to the statement, the 59-year-old Ezeokoli was arrested on Friday, November the 29th, at the E-Arrival Hall of the Lagos Airport upon his return from Sao Paulo, Brazil, on Ethiopia Airlines flight via Addis Ababa. The agency adds that he was taken for a body scan. The result confirmed that the suspect had foreign objects concealed in his stomach. Mr. Babafemi states that as a result of this, he was placed under excretion observation, where he expelled 29 wraps of substance tested positive for cocaine weighing 700 grams. Eco Supreme Resources Nigeria Limited, makers of Good Mama detergents, is taking its Good Mama's Day Out neighboring campaign to Ayobo in Ipaja, Lagos. Well, that campaign is the brand's way of connecting with its consumers in communities across Nigeria, with cash prizes worth over 5 million naira for the day.
Loyal customers of Good Mama detergents are here to witness an occasion that provides them the opportunity to showcase their best selves through their unique personal style. They are treated to an exciting set of competitions in fashion, Good Mama wash demo, detergent showcase and raffle draws, with over 5 million naira worth of prizes to be won. Head Marketing and Sales, Good Mama Detergents, Toyin Donia, speaks on the essence of the brand's neighborhood campaign.
So you wash with the Good Mama detergent, your fabric is extra clean, and then you also get the extra freshness out of it. So this activity is actually to engage consumers, educate them about the Good Mama brand, and also reward them for being loyal to the Good Mama brand.
With this initiative, Good Mama Detergent says it is a demonstration that it cares beyond cleaning clothes. It also makes users, especially older ones, feel young again.
Is she a winner? If she's your winner, Good Mama. dancing, catwalking, doing things that they've probably not done in a while, feeling young again. And I think it's just beautiful and incredibly thoughtful of the brand.
Just come on the stage, through the runway, showcase your style, and then, just create memorable and fun moments for them, so that when they leave here, in their laundry moments, they can also reflect on those moments that they've had with the Good Mama brand.
Some of the winners appreciate Good Mama for the prizes they've won.
I will just see that all the stains in my clothes just disappear, and even the aroma that comes out of it is so excellent.
I'm very happy, Sha, for me to come to this occasion. I'm going home with a lot of prize.
I'm very happy to win this washing machine. I'm so excited to use it this night because I'm going to wash clothes with it. So I'm thankful to Good Mama for presenting me with this washing machine, and I'm very happy.
Good Mama Detergents, launched in 2009, has earned a reputation as one of Nigeria's leading detergent brands by delivering quality and affordability. Through this ongoing neighborhood tour, the brand reaffirms its commitment to exceeding customer expectations, celebrating community culture, and resonating with a vibrant Nigerian spirit.
And now to the arts. Eco Hotel and Suites is ready to take its guests on a captivating Christmas journey to its Pride lands. A private viewing organized by the company served as a preview for what's to come.
Tropical Christmas Wonderland by Eco Hotels and Suites is back, and this year's edition, titled Prideland 3 Theater of Light, which will be holding from the 20th of December 2024 to the 2nd of January 2025, promises to be a spectacle of drama, music, and daring fun.
In fact, it is much more than a hotel, if you get what I mean.
At this private preview screening, guests are given a little taste of what to expect.
If you need our help, just whisper our names.
First up is a futuristic musical stage play titled The Jewel, inspired by Wole Soyinka's The Lion and the Jewel and Ola Rotimi's Our Husband Has Gone Mad Again.
Now we stand as heroes of old.
I just want to build a mansion in your heart and live there.
Oh well, build a bungalow first and let's see.
Next, the Prideland Circus treats guests to jaw-dropping stunts. Finally, an ancient musical stage play titled Prideland 2, The Reign of Queen Farah, keeps guests enjoyably engaged. The Director of Sales and Marketing of Eco Hotels and Suites, Iyaduni Gbadebo, promises an unforgettable 2-week period of fun for individuals and families.
Where else on the continent will give you breakfast, lunch, dinner, all buffet style, and then every day you have 2 theater shows, 1 circus show, a skating rink show, a magic show, a massive carnival procession. We have a 100-man choir singing you old Christmas favorites. There is nowhere else on the continent that will give it to you like we will give it to you.
Guests hail the good work done by Eco Hotels and Suites.
This is a platform where families from within and outside Nigeria can come and savor and taste, of valuable entertainment.
I thank Eco Hotel for spearheading, showcasing our great talents of our creatives in Nigeria to the world.
Eco Hotels and Suites is ready to host people from far and wide to a high-quality serving of entertainment this Christmas.
From art Regards to the world of sports, the battle at the top of the Nigeria Premier Football League has again changed hands for the second consecutive week as Rivers United moved top, while Remo Stars dropped to second position. In matchday 15 games played this evening, the Pride of Rivers beat visiting Kano Pillars 1-0, while in Minna, Remo Stars lost 2-1 to host Niger Tornadoes. Rivers United led the table with the 29 points. They are now closely trailed by Remo on 26 points. Debutants Ikorodu City have moved third with an impressive 4-1 thrashing of Aqua United. Hatland, Katsina United and Shooting Stars all enjoyed home wins earlier today. Liverpool piled on the misery of the Manchester City at the English Premier League leaders as they beat the troubled title holders 2-0 at Anfield. Ernest Lott's side moved 9 points clear of second-placed Arsenal after Cody's first half opener, and Mohamed Salah's late penalty dealt another blow to Reading City, who are now languishing 11 points behind Liverpool in 5th place. City have lost 4 successive top-flight games for the first time since 2008, making them the first Premier League champions to endure such a dismal run the year after claiming the title. And earlier, as for Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim has earned his own first English Premier League win with 4-0 rout of Everton. This was the most encouraging result of his brief time at 9th-placed United as they recovered from a slow start to dispatch lowly Everton. At Stamford Bridge, Chelsea extended their own unbeaten run in all competitions to 6 games as Villa's the small winless streak reached 8 matches. Tottenham Hotspur were held to a 1-1 draw by 10-man Fulham. Back home, President of the Nigeria Football Federation is satisfied with Super Falcons' performance. It plans to introduce a new policy mandating all Premier League clubs to have women's teams. This, he believes, will help the growth of women's game.
We are going to do, we're going to come out with a policy to see how we can make it compulsory for each of our Premier Club to see how they can have a female counterpart team, because that is the trend that is going on all over the world, and that's the only way we can improve our female football. Once, by the grace of God, we try to make it a policy, all our Premier clubs introduce their own female counterpart, then I think we're going to see a lot of these young girls being exposed.
Away from sports now, Russia has reportedly carried out a series of airstrikes in Syria. That's after rebel forces continued to push south after taking control of Aleppo. 5 people were killed near Aleppo's University Hospital. The Russian fighter jets carried out 4 strikes on that hospital. Syria has vowed to fight back after rebel fighters took control of the country's second largest city, with airstrikes conducted by the Syrian and Russian air forces. Russian airstrikes have also reportedly hit parts of Idlib and Hama regions. In the meantime, Iran is reportedly sending its foreign minister Abbas Araghchi to Syria's capital, Damascus. The United Nations agency providing aid to Palestinians has said it is suspending deliveries through the main crossing between Israel and Gaza because of security concerns. The head of UNRWA, Felipe Lazzarini, says the 2 recent convoys had been looted by armed gangs near the Kerem Shalom crossing and called on Israel to maintain law and order. Israel has previously said that it facilitated the passage of aid into Gaza, accusing Hamas of hijacking and stealing the deliveries. Kerem Shalom is the main route for delivering aid to more than 2 million people in Gaza, which the United Nations has warned is on the brink of famine. Recent weeks have seen a series of increasingly violent theft by criminal gangs, which aid workers have said are now the main obstacle to the distribution of supplies. The ex-wife of Côte d'Ivoire's former president Laurent Gbagbo has joined the list of the country's presidential hopefuls. Simone Ehivette has divorced Mr. Laurent in June last year after 34 years of marriage and decades of joint activism, won the nomination of her party, the Movement for Capable Generations, at a congress in her native town of Mosseau in Côte d'Ivoire's southeast region. Accepting the nomination, Simone listed national reconciliation through amnesty, food sovereignty, and industrialization as her own priorities. Meanwhile, her former husband, Laurent Gbagbo, was also nominated as a candidate of his party, the Parti des Peuples Africains Côte d'Ivoire, even though he remains ineligible for the time being due to a conviction by the Ivorian courts. And the main news again. Troops of 6th Division of the Nigerian Army today said it has recovered 1.2 million liters of stolen petroleum products, destroyed over 56 illegal oil bunkering sanctuaries in the Niger Delta region. The operation also led to the arrest of 17 suspected oil thieves and the destruction of 6 illegal connection points. Also today, former Vice President Atiku called on the National Assembly to revisit and make public the resolutions of the National Economic Council on the tax reform bill. We also told you that the President Bola Tinubu will on Monday leave France for South Africa to co-chair the 11th session of the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission alongside President Cyril Ramaphosa. And Syrian rebels have swept into Aleppo as Russia conducts strikes in support of President Bashar al-Assad. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Have a wonderful week ahead. Good night.